What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Duftonbond, and I just had something amazing happen to me. Something I've been trying for a while, and I'm sure you already know from the title of the video. But I just hit Legendary Arena, and I'm super excited. This has been a goal of mine since the start, since Legendary Arena came out. Didn't think I'd hit it this season, but as of recent, we got pretty lucky with our games, and we were able to climb up. And considering I'm halfway to level, between level 8 and level 9, that's pretty good to get into the legendary arena. So yeah, I was super happy. Yeah, because right now I'm running level 8 commons, level 5 epics, and then level 3 epics and level 5 rares. So it's pretty good. Definitely don't see too many people with lower cards than that who can make it into that arena. There are a few people in the clan though who are around my card level and also in legendary arena, but that is why we're one of the top clans. So I thought I'd hop into a couple of replays that would just some of the games that led me right up to the legendary arena, the last 3 actually, if they're still up. So let's hop into the first game. The first game, which is against Nesna, and he's a level 7, which was pretty crazy for you to think, because he was at legendary arena then, and he was about 100 trophies higher than me. But don't be fooled by his level 7 status. He has a couple level 4 epics and some level 9 commons even. So even though he's a level 7, he still has higher cards than me. Also, I knew this deck really well because I used to be in Yadun, and he was by far and away the highest, level 7. And so obviously you can see that he's way outmatching a lot of people with a lot of higher skill. And so I knew his deck really well. And this deck is actually kind of a deviation of his deck, because I saw his deck doing so well, and so I took it, and I didn't really like all the cards that he was using. So instead of Fireball, I felt that Lightning was a lot more effective at dealing with a lot of hut decks. And then also, instead of Tombstone, which he was running, I thought Inferno would be better just because it can deal with the golem pushes and different things like that. It works better to defend against those really big minions. So I did know his deck, and I had a huge advantage in knowing exactly what cards he could play. So it just made it way easier for me to be able to win this game. So since I knew the deck, I knew that it was less important for me to just keep having to put down those little minions, or the defensive buildings, because he doesn't really have a lot to push with, and most of his damage is going to come from the Goblin Barrel. And then I knew that he also had a huge counter to my Goblin Barrel, and so a lot of my damage that I was trying to get done was with my baby dragon, as well as using my lightning whenever it was up, because I knew that he wouldn't really be able to push that hard against me, because that just wasn't what cards he had. And so it just gave me a big advantage in this game. But it was awesome because I've always wanted to know which of our decks would do better, whether it was his or mine. And there I think he makes a pretty big mistake. He didn't fireball my Goblin Barrel and let it get off a good 200-300 hits on his tower. And so now his tower is really low. It's within 3 lightnings, maybe 2 if you throw in some arrows as well. And since he throws at that lightning, I knew I was able to he threw at the arrows, and so I knew I was able to Goblin Barrel, and it got his tower low enough, and now I just had to cycle through to his to my lightning, and then the game was over. And so that gave me 40 trophies, and that pushed me well on my way to getting to Legendary Arena. So this game is against a level 9, so he's got some high level stuff for me, and he starts off with the Elixir Collector. So I know, okay, of course, I always like to just lightning it off the bat, That way that my elixir can regen at a similar rate to his, and then we can defend like a push quite easily. So he plays the baby dragon, and he plays a second baby dragon, and then the musketeer. So I use one of the baby dragons to kind of distract both of them and bring them over, and then I place the Inferno tower in order to make sure that he doesn't get any damage off onto my tower, and then I can kind of start a push. And since he uses arrows like that, mainly because he didn't know that I had Goblin Bale, I was able to throw it out, especially after you use that elixir collector, and he's got nothing to stop it, so they can get their whole damage down to his tower, which is pretty good. It's about 800. And now we start to regroup again, and I see he placed 2 elixir collectors on the other tower that I wouldn't attack, but since there's so much elixir there, it's still worth it to lightning both those, just because if I let them live their whole duration, they'll just gain him so much elixir that it won't be possible really to defend any push. So now I have to defend against his golem, plus now even before like the golem, he has about the same amount of elixir as me. But I think we can defend it. Also, his golem's at level 5, which is pretty high level, so you have to invest quite a bit into killing it. So the Inferno starts hitting away, and he uses those arrows for no reason. I think he's trying to predict that I play some spear goblins or goblins. But I stop that push and barely take any damage onto my tower, and then again I'm allowed to Goblin Bale, and he doesn't really have anything to play, and he actually plays the wizard, so I'm able to lightning that very quickly, and that was definitely worth, because it's a 6 elixir for 5 elixir trade. And now even though he has 1 elixir collected on the top right, it's fine. It will gain him a bit of elixir, but like not nearly as much as 2 will. Like 1's manageable, 2 is not really, and then 3 and 4 it gets crazy. So I throw out that Goblin Bale. I was really hoping I could get some more damage onto his tower, but he arrows it, and so I realize I have to defend this push of 2 golems. So I play the second Tesla there, and I see that that musketeer and wizard was definitely worth lightning, because it would have done so much damage, because there's nothing that can hit it, and it would have just done insane amounts of damage onto my tower. And then after defending this push really well and killing that wizard, he doesn't really have any damage left since his musketeer is on the other side, and he just uses arrows. I know I can go for the win, so I throw out the Goblin Bale, and then I lightning the tower in order to win. So I thought it was a pretty great game to start off, and that got me to 2989 trophies, and then there's 1 game left. I was expecting to get like a level 10. I was doing this tourney before, but I was expecting to get like destroyed by like some like level 10 and not make it. But luckily, the Supercell gods were with us, and they gave us a fair level 8 v8 with similar cards, which I was just so happy about. And since I only needed 11 trophies, the fact that it was quite a bit below me didn't really matter. So I always start off with that Goblin Bale if I have it. He didn't seem to be running arrows off the start, which was good, and then since he played the baby dragon and the hog, I can take that out with the help of my goblins. And then I think I played the baby drag just in order to take out those spear goblins and start to kind of mount a push. He plays that Tesla, so I'm just like, okay, that baby dragon is a sunk cost. And now let's regroup. We got a good amount of damage on his tower, and we can just play safe and then do that again, and we should eventually win the game. So he plays those barbarians, and I play my Tesla, which is a great counter to it. I didn't expect the lightning, but it still wasn't gonna get that much damage. With like his barb still wasn't gonna hit my tower, and it allowed me to Goblin Bale his without him being able to arrow it. So I still didn't know that he had arrows, which would have been like helpful, but since he hadn't used them in my first 2 Goblin Bales, it allowed me to get a ton of damage onto his tower, and so that was pretty great. And then again, he does this Baby Dragon and Hog Rider, and it's just quite easy to defend with a single Inferno Tower. I think that was a lot overkill to use on that push. I don't know why I did it, but I was so nervous at the time that I just was like, no, we can't get anything to my tower. But now we've again got time to regroup, and this is the first Goblin Bale that he was actually able to counter with arrows. And so then that's when I was realized, like, oh, okay, now I really have to wait until he uses arrows before I can throw out any more Goblin Bales. So he plays those Barbarians again. They're going to get taken out, I thought, by the Tesla, but since he was lightning it, he was able to get them the tower, and it gets one of them gets 1 strike on the tower, and I'm able to take the rest out. And instead of trying to defend his top left tower, he tries to push all of his minions onto the right side, and so he didn't arrow my Goblin Bale, and I was able to get even more damage. And then I thought I was going to need to lightning, but my Baby Dragon got his tower so low that it was in like arrow range, and so I thought I'd just throw out the arrows and then just defend for the last 10 seconds. And that was kind of the time where I was like, oh my god, I'm actually in Legend Arena now. Like, there's nothing you can really do to push down my tower. And that was the game, which was crazy. I was super, super happy with that. And now I'm in Legend Arena. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I probably won't play again until at least the rank reset. Just because I don't want to lose that, and I just want to kind of have those legend trophies in there as a little memento. Hopefully I'll be able to keep climbing in the next season, but I'm also pretty busy over the weekend. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot of fun getting here, and I still recommend this deck. There's a little tutorial on my channel. It's actually my most viewed video, but as well you can just watch these and kind of get a gist of how to use the deck. But until next time, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you after the season is reset.